What's up guys, it's Roger, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're playing some more Trials of Osiris, this weekend on Dead Cliffs, which is actually one of my favorite Trials map in the entire game. We had a vote, Bungie was like, hey, here's 3 maps, 2 of them smell like utter dog poo-poo, and then the other one is really good. And luckily the community, although they always try to troll and we get something like multiplex thrown in there, but luckily we were not able to troll that hard and we actually got Dead Cliffs, which makes me a happy man. What am I going to be using today? Well, a pretty simple blink build to be honest. Over here in our armor is going to be the usual stuff where we are going to be using our Astrosight Burst. That's going to give us plus 30 airborne effectiveness when we are actually blinking around, and a bunch of extra stuff like getting extra handling, which actually is 100 handling as you come out of a blink. A lot of good stuff like that. You can see here it's the regular kind of mods that I have on. You can put on double strand targeting on flinching if you want to, but I do have something on for my shotgun because when I show you these weapons here in a second, you'll see they are absolute slobber knockers. Now, for our actual mods, we're going to be making Orbs of Power like usual. It's my usual stuff, you know, the Firepower, the Heavy-Handed, and the Reaper mod to make some Orbs of Power. Use your Absolution, your Enervation, and your Orbs of Restoration. You can pause at any point here to read these more in depth, but essentially they just give you ability energy back. And our 2 Bomber mods, of course, as always, is going to give us 17% of our grenade energy back every time we use our Rift. Now, with our Rift, we want to stand in there, we want to take some shots, right? And we're going to be doing that with the Round Robin. I just got this thing crafted finally, because the thing was I never wanted to go waste my time on Neomuna and get this thing crafted, but I was like, okay, screw it, I'm just gonna do it. I committed and I got it done. So I got this thing crafted like last week. I used it in Checkmate, but the thing was, you can't 2-tap everybody with a kill clip in Checkmate. It sucks. I was like, dude, this isn't fun. I want to 2-tap people when I actually get my kill clip proc, because guess what? I actually went out of my way to have a skillful gunfight. I took somebody down with my gun skill, and then I proc kill clip, and you're telling me I can't even 2-tap? Did not like that, but in regular trials like this weekend, you can, and you'll see a lot of 2-taps in the gameplay today. Mix that with ricochet rounds, small bore, and keep away, and I did use a range masterwork, and this gun is feeling absolutely amazing with that 78 range, obviously a 15 extra range, I believe, from the keep away. It just feels super solid. Now, pairing with this, we're going to have the Retro Futurist. This is my favorite shotgun in the entire game. I love this shotgun. However, they reintroduced it, right? I used to have this almost exact roll. I would use Accurized, I would use Quick Draw and Snapshot, and I think I actually had Rifle Barrel on there too, so I had a bunch of good range, but I couldn't get a range masterwork. It was just so close to being a god roll, but I couldn't quite get it, and I finally got it after focusing so many at Shaxx. This was like my 80th one of these that I opened, but I was so hyped when I got it. And today was the first time that I actually went into Crucible. I should have actually changed my tracker here, and tried it out in Crucible, and I gotta say, it felt so crispy. I mean, you can see my old retro here. Like I said, it also has small bore, Accurized, a Quick Draw, and Snapshot, small bore, and not the actual rifled. And then it had a handling masterwork, which we already had Quick Draw and Snapshot, so I didn't need that. And it only had 57 range, but this thing is still my baby with over 2k kills on it. But now that I have his little brother just popped out of the womb, I'm going to be using that one from now on. Pretty simple stuff. In our Void Walker here, we're going to have on the Nova Bomb Vortex. We're going to have on a Healing Rift. We have Blink, of course, because we're not some little freaky floaty boy. We're going to be blinking around. Pocket Singularity, because Bungie is really good at their jobs, and they make us a bunch of good choices down here. However, we know Pocket Singularity is the best choice for us, so we're going to use that. When it comes to our nades, hey look, we actually do have other choices, even though some of these shouldn't even be available to Warlocks, but hey, another good decision by Bungo. That's why we're going to go with the Axiom Bolts. I think they're the best for Void Warlocks, so we're going to use that today. Over here we have Feed the Void and Clarence like usual. I like Overcharge nades, but they're just not as good as the other 2 aspects even after the buffs. But you can use this to Pocket Devour, get some good heals and a grenade energy back, and that did get buffed recently, so it gives us even more grenade energy back than it used to. Clarence is going to go out, he's going to suck people on the toes, cheeks, whatever he can get his little dirty mouth on. He'll give you some energy back to your grenade and melee, do damage, he'll slow them, he'll weaken them, a lot of great stuff from Clarence there. With our fragments, it's going to be our usual stuff. Echo of Dilation, the best fragment in the entire game, gives you some base intellect and mobility, but on top of that, it gives you a in-tuned radar so you can pick apart where your enemies are and see how you want to fight them. After that, we have Echo of Persistence, so those void buffs applied to us, Invisibility, Overshield, and Devour, are going to last a longer time. That's going to make the initial proc for your Devour go from a 10-second duration to a 15-second duration. After that, we have Echo of Expulsion. You can trade this out for something like Leeching if you want to. You could even go for Provision or Exchange, but I do prefer Echo of Expulsion. If people are holding hands, your abilities will explode a secondary time after they get a pick, and it can do a lot of extra damage and easily pick up our 2 or 3 kills just straight out. And last but not least, we have Echo of Vigilance, so we do get that Void Overshield when we get a kill at critical health, which we can pair that with like the double tap on our Round Robin and actually have some confidence with our Round Robin double tap because we have a Void Overshield, so we can just take somebody out with that double tap and not be as scared of dying even after our first fight. But all that said, I think I have everything covered. If you do have any questions though, please feel free to leave those in the comment section or join the Blinkville Discord server. I'm going to have linked in the description and in the top right. And as always in the description, I will have a link to my dim loadout, so if you just want to click that so you can get the build really easily there, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to leave me a like or subscribe subscribe at any point today in the gameplay. I'd very much appreciate that. But I think we're ready to go ahead and get into this gameplay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and blink on into it. I wish I could tell you this is one of those videos with the happy-go-lucky Roger where I'm just like so excited, but no, I really can't because I've been really annoyed with this game for a while, which if you watch the channel quite often, then you know that. But this weekend, my God, it's been an absolute joke. There's some clips in here where I want to show you that. I mean, right there, you know, I got dead slid when I tried to slide to cover, but whatever, we did some good damage. We helped our teammates out. We got a bunch of assists for the round and some good final hits ourselves. And this is my first round of the day, which I always show you guys my first round of the day, whether it's like a win or lose, just so you can see how the actual weekend started. Now, I did get my flawless today. It took me a while, and the card where I got my flawless was disgustingly hard fought. I had to do most of the carrying in every match. Most of my teammates were absolute dog water. Some of them were really cool. Some of them were really nice. And even in a lot of the matches that I lost today, I was trying my best to go in chat and give good tips to my teammates while we were losing and be positive with them. And we ended up joking around a lot of the time, you know, and having a little bit of fun. And that's cool. I like that. That's fine. You're gonna see a nice little 2-tap with a round robin here, by the way. But the thing is, this game is just so disgustingly toxic in so many different ways. I started making Smite content the other day. If you don't know what that game is, it's a MOBA. I played it for a long time, but I never made content with it, and I wanted to try that out. I've had some really successful videos in the past few days on my second channel. You can go and check them out. But the biggest thing I noticed is something that I've known for a while, something I've hated for a while about the Destiny community, which is just how ridiculously toxic it is in total. Every single comment, I should say 98% of the comments, probably 99.5% of the comments I've gotten on those Smite videos have been so loving and positive, and it blows my mind. A lot of the comments I get on these from my base audience, the ones of you that watch me a lot, which I appreciate the hell out of you, by the way, they can be very positive. And I really do appreciate those people and the ones who leave me those kind words, because that stuff, it goes a long way in helping me out in my days and just make me feel better about what I do. But the Destiny community at large is terrible to its creators. And I'm sure a lot of other creators could agree with this, because the Destiny community has some of the most like nitpicking people in the world. People that just care way too much about the game. They care way too much about the every little details. Everything. And they just come at you and they're like, ooh, but what about this and this, and you did this wrong. Shut the fuck up. Like, that's my motto to anyone that's gonna make a comment where you're like trying to tell me that I could have done something different. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. At this point, because I don't care. In the past, when I was starting out, when I was still learning stuff, fine, go ahead, tell me. I don't care anymore. The game is in a terrible spot. So I don't want to learn anything about this game right now anyways, and I already know basically fucking everything I need to know to play my Blink well in PvP and succeed. I still keep up when they do their little updates and whenever, you know, I know what's happening in the meta, even though it's usually just complete, utter garbage. But the point is, I know what I'm doing by now. Especially when someone's gonna leave me like, oh, a Blink tip or something. Holy moly, that blows my mind. Now, this is a tangent that we can come back to in a second, but we have some other stuff to talk about here really quick. Fuck this guy crushing your grenade launcher, because this next clip is beautifully going to exemplify something for you guys. So I go in to this match here, not this one, the clip after this. You're gonna see I was loading to a match, and when I'm loading to a match, I check my social screen so I can see who's in this match, because maybe it's somebody I know, maybe I recognize a cheater or something. And as soon as I got into this match, I went, oh look, it's Grenader Jake. But then I went, hold on, there's only one other solo in this match. So I thought I was gonna be in a match with one other solo and do a 2v2 against Jake and the kid that he was carrying on his stream. Cool, whatever, I'll do that. It's a bit of a wacky match, and it goes to show what's so screwed up about Bungie. You can see me pausing my music right now, because I was like, okay, let's get, you know, ready for this. But then I even went in chat and I started typing, because I was like, I'll type to my teammate and be like, man, this game is pathetic. Like, this matchmaking is ridiculous. And then I realized right here, I was like, wait, Win is on their team. And then I realized, oh, it's a 3v1 against me. That's the matchmaking. And so I unmuted myself live, and I'll just let myself speak for how I felt in that moment. Usually I have myself muted, and I'm just recording these clips. They just put me in a fucking 2v3 against Grenader Jake, some other solo, and then a dude he's duo queued with. Fuck this game. People say don't leave matches. Fuck this. I'm not playing this. Are you kidding me, Bungie? How is this ever fucking acceptable? And now I have to take a penalty because you can't matchmake for shit? The first match that I played today was against me with 2 other solos on my team, and the other team actually got a 2-stack. What the fuck is going on? I'm sick of this. I'm genuinely done with this shit. How are you this terrible at making matches? There are such simple fucking precautions you can take and put into your game that says no match can start unless the teams have an equal amount of 2 stacks against each other, if that's how you want to screw over us solos. Because clearly you have shown year after year, update after update, you don't give a shit about the solo player experience. You use us like fucking cannon fodder and nothing but tools for you to fill teams because you don't care about the solo player experience, and nothing better exemplifies that than that matchmaking right there. Screw Bungie and their matchmaking. It's pathetic at this point. It's been years, and if you can even somehow make an excuse for that shit to ever happen, then you are insane. Usually you guys know I like to try to take any kind of annoyance or anger, toxicity, whatever I'm getting on the weekends in these games, and I try to channel that into some humor at least, so we can all have a little laugh about it. Have a laugh at how far this game has fallen and how far it continues to fall. But it's been really tough for me to do that this weekend, and that perfectly sums it up right there. Because what the fuck was that? I try to be sympathetic towards other people in my life at any point, because it's another person and they're dealing with their own shit and whatever it may be, and everyone's just trying their best to get by every single day of their life. But this is inexcusable at this point. Somebody needs to be fired for this to get fixed, because clearly people are not doing their jobs. Somebody is not understanding how to make this game work fundamentally. I don't care who you want to blame. I don't care who's actually to blame. Whether it's the guy that are up top in the company that are just not giving them the resources they need because they wasted all their money on other stuff. Whatever it is, because we have the cheater issue, we have this matchmaking issue, we have the actual balancing issues. There's so many problems. The sheer toxicity of players in this game. There's so many fucking problems with this game. And guess how many of them are getting addressed? 0. 0 out of fucking 4 that I named simply right there. Nothing is getting addressed. What the hell are we doing? Pick one issue, focus on it hardcore, fix that one issue, and then move on to the next one. And eventually you could get this game back in a respectable state. But clearly whoever is there right now, whoever's making the decisions at this company does not comprehend what is going on. They are completely out of touch with the player base, in my opinion. They're completely out of touch with the game in its entirety, and it's just so apparent. Because if you actually knew what you were doing to any degree at your job, which a lot of these people are veteran workers that have stayed with this company for a long time now, how have you fallen this far from grace that you don't understand what you're doing to this capacity? It's insane to me. And not only is it insane, it is inexcusable. I said that word a few times now because I truly do think there is no excuse for this. I don't know what needs to happen perfectly for this shit to get fixed. But in my opinion, the people who are currently handling this game, who have been trying to bring it somewhere apparently, somewhere more positive for the past 2 years now, and yet it's only continued to fall further, that's who I blame. That's who I think needs to take some fucking penance here and get the fuck out from the ground up. You get completely new devs. I am just hoping, God, willing, that this company just keeps falling farther to the point that whoever is in charge and is actually making decisions right now is ousted from the company so somebody else with fucking brain cells can come in and do the job correctly. This chat was funny, so I want to show it to you. This is what I mean. Like, I was in chat talking to some people throughout the day. Like, I was talking to this guy about his fucking meatball marinara dinner. And it was really funny. That guy was funny. And we lost the match, but hell, I still had a good time because I went in chat and we were just kind of, joking around. But, look at the fucking leaderboard. I'm going 11-5 because I can't get real teammates. Like, that guy was funny. I appreciate that I could have a little laugh with him and joke around in chat. But him and the other teammate couldn't play the game. And that's the next thing. We have to look at these employees. Here's a sword slash bugging out, by the way, because again, the sword, the fucking eager edge sword, has been bugged in PvP. It doesn't work in PvP for over a year now, at least. So there's another thing to add to your goddamn list. But then let's go away from the company for a second, right? Because I could talk about that all day. But here is the other big thing. And I've kind of touched on this before, but people get pissy about it, but I don't care. I honestly don't care, because sometimes you need to get hit with some truth. One of the biggest reasons that this game has fallen so far is because of the player base. And I like a lot of my audience because they see me using off-meta stuff and they go, that's really cool, and they see me succeeding with it, getting my solo flawless, whatever it is, and they go, wow, I want to play like that because that's impressive. And I really appreciate those people, and I respect the fuck out of those people. Because then they actually go in, they try their best to develop skill, and then run with it. That is highly respectable in my opinion. Here's the problem. The vast majority of Destiny 2 players have ruined this game because all they want to do is sit on the same, let's say 4 or 5 subclasses. When it's Titans, they're either just going to sit on Void or Arc, and they're going to go in and abuse Conditional Finality, Peacekeeper, whatever SMG they want that has target lock on it that they can still abuse because that still hasn't been nerfed to a meaningful degree. Then you have your Hunters. What are the abusive things that are going to be a Hunter? Of course, Invis forever because the lighting system is so disgusting in this game, it doesn't work. And just Invis in general is always going to be strong when it can take you off a radar, stuff like that. And then of course right now the biggest one, Threadling spam, which you can do on Warlock and you can do on Hunter, which is absolutely insane. You're telling me, and my friend says this all the time, he goes, what the hell is going on when the Warlock Summoner class, right? Warlock is supposed to be like the Summoner class. That's how Bungie has made it out to be for Strand. They said, yeah, Warlock, they're like summoners. Ooh, look, they can summon all these Threadlings. But somehow, the best class for summoning Threadlings, the best class for being a summoner in this game is Hunter? What are we doing, Bungie? What are you fucking thinking? There's so many easy fixes too. All you have to do, decrease the travel speed of those Threadlings. Make it to where Threaded Spectre can't spawn Threadlings. There shouldn't be one-shot abilities in this fucking game. We have narrowed that fact down for years now. They have actually tuned the Crucible meta several times around the sheer fact that they have stated that they agree that there should never be one-shot abilities in the Destiny 2 PvP sandbox. Everybody can agree upon that fact because it is simply so straightforward. Everybody hates one-shot abilities. It ruins any sort of competitive integrity or any sort of fun for that matter. It's not fun. It's not even that fun for the people using it, let's be completely honest. If you're really crutching that and getting so much fun out of it, how long does that last for you? At what point do you sit there and go, man, I think I'd rather develop any shred of skill or try any other loadout before you're just like done with it? And then eventually, are you just not having fun with it and you're still just spamming it because at least you're winning? I need to know that. I want to know things like that. What are people's mindsets on this shit? And I know people are going to be like, you're the one taking this too seriously. Yeah, but you got to remember, this shit is my job. And I have to deal with this every day, a lot more than other people. And all I have ever preached in this game is to actually go ahead and just try to develop your skill above all else. And if you need to go in, and I'll say this right now, just so I can clear things up for you guys about how I feel. People tell me in the comments, they'll go, yeah, Roger, this weekend was really rough. I couldn't get my flawless, so what I did is I went on Strand Hunter with like Bombardiers or 6th Coyote for one card. I got my card and then I took that off. I don't like that, but at the same time, I can accept something like that. If you want to put on some crazy crutch and meta abuse for one card just to get your flawless, and then go have some fun with your friends, have some fun with actual builds that take skill, sharpen your skill up over the weekend, do that. Please, by all means, do that. Have your one card. Everybody deserves to get a flawless. So if you got a meta abuse for one card, do what you got to do, man. But after that, all I'm saying is just enjoy the game. Do you know how many fun guns there are in this game? Look what I'm using right now. I crafted up this fucking round robin. I'm tapping with it like crazy. I got my favorite shotgun in the game that was finally reissued. I was so happy when this gun was reissued. I got my favorite god roll of it, and I had so much fun using it today. I didn't see a single other lightweight frame shotgun the entire day. I saw 2 different shotguns. 90% of those were conditional finality, and I saw like 2 fractithists. And that was it. Because there's no diversity in Crucible anymore. Because people don't even try to make diversity. And that goes back to creators too. Because all these creators push out the same disgusting slop week after week, where all they show is themselves meta abusing. And it makes me even sadder about them. And I do have split opinions about that too. Because when it's like they're on Twitch or something and they're doing card carries, everyone else is meta abusing, so they kind of have to if they want to carry their little randoms, right? So I get that to some degree. But there's people that I really respect, like Frostbolt, where I see him making these fun build videos and using these interesting guns that have cool interactions with the game. And he's not just complete meta abusing. You know, he likes figuring all this stuff out. Like, he was one of the first ones that I really saw going in with Backrest Hunter and making it look really high skill and fun. I really respect that guy. I really respect the way he makes fun content with like his random series, his Zerg Picks My Loadout, stuff like that. You don't see that from other creators for the most part. A lot of them are just doing the same flea-bitten dog shit over and over. where they know all they can do is just say, wow, look at this. I used the same crutch as always, and then I got a bunch of kills and went nuts with it. Cool. And everyone just sees that and they say, well, my favorite creator is using it. And then everyone else starts using it because they're the biggest creators, you know? And man, I try not to, you know, the only reason I would name like Frostbolt by name is because I really respect him as a creator and I really enjoy his content, and I always have. And I'm not going to say anybody's name specifically and disparage them in a negative light because I think that's just disrespectful and there's no need for it. So I'm not going to do that. But I think those people know who they are, and I think you as a Destiny viewer know who those people are. We're getting towards the end of the gameplay, so I'll kind of bring it back to one of my original points earlier too, where a good part of this PvP being screwed up is the player's fault to a degree, because people just want to abuse. And again, this has kind of all been tied into the same thing with the, you know, coming from the creators, and they see that and that's what they want to use, of course, because they think highly of those creators or whatever, which is a whole nother can of worms. And you know, just to be clear, a lot of this is not completely black and white. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. You can leave a comment disagreeing with me, but I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Do it in a respectful manner where you show me that you actually want to have a conversation with me that could spark any kind of positive and transformative thought. Because if you leave a comment and you're just saying some salty shit, then I'm just going to block you from my comments. I have so many people like that. That's such a good indicator of how toxic the Destiny community is in, you know, comment sections and stuff. I have hundreds of people blocked in my comment section because they're just coming to be toxic as shit, you know? Some of them are just annoying. Most of them are just like toxic, and it's like whatever, because you try to keep the comments kind of clean. I know some other creators have different opinions like that. They're like, oh, just keep the toxic people in your comments because it's engagement. But I'm like, I would rather have mostly positive engagement, you know, and have less engagement than have a bunch of like negative Andes in my comment section, because that's not what I want to breed, you know? So I just kind of needed a rant here today. But yeah, if you do want to leave me a comment, you know, oh, here's my flawless, by the way, so you can see you got the flawless right there, and tell me, you know, what's been your experiences really. This is what I ask you. Just a few questions, basically. What's been your experience with Destiny 2 PvP as a whole? Do you think there's too much toxicity associated with it, like I do? Do you think that there is some onus on the community itself in terms of making this game fall farther from grace? Or do you think that most of the onus should be on Bungie, like I do? You know, I think it's like 80% Bungie's fault, 20% the player base's fault, in my complete and honest opinion. Because at the end of the day, I'll blame player base and people for abusing stuff, but that stuff is only abusable because Bungie keeps it in the game for so long. So there is a split blame there, in my opinion, but I do think that a large portion of that blame goes on the company making the game. So let me know if you agree with that opinion, or just how you guys are feeling. How you feeling this weekend? And just know that it will probably be a tough weekend because it's Adept Eye of Soul, which you saw I got a nice little god roll right there. So just be aware that since it's Adept Eye of Roll weekend, there's probably going to be a lot of cheaters online and meta abusers. So just buckle down. I hope you guys really do have a good weekend, and that's going to do it for me today. So as always, have a great day, Guardians.